I didn't say, by the way, so let's get to the first things first. Affiliations. I didn't say that there wasn't affiliations. It's too early to know. I literally, if you guys were, actually, a lot of you were in that broadcast, you know exactly what I said, but I'm happy to repeat it, which was, until we figure out a good way of not splitting the community, that's a bad business thing to do, to split the community. So if we're working on kind of creative ways of doing that, and we hear you, you know, like one of the reasons I want to do that like Shark Tank type show where we have influencers come on and talk to me is, yeah, they're of course they're going to say, hey, bring back affiliations. But what I'm going to say back to them is, hey, look, this is why we didn't have it in the past couple of years. We were split in the community, and that was a big problem business-wise for us. So now, how would you like to resolve that? What are your ideas to resolve that? And let's see what they have to say. You know, like, it's one thing to just be like, oh, I want affiliations back, but it's another thing to be like, here's how I creatively think you guys can address that problem, right? So that's really all it is.
Now that was Ronnie 2K talking about, are they going to bring back affiliations in 2K21? So I'm going to interpret what he said from my point of view, as well as answering his question to them, or how we can actually make affiliations work in 2K21. I'm also going to touch on the point of why they removed affiliations in the first place. But before we get into the video, guys, if you could smash that like and subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. Hey yo guys, what is good? It's your favorite Supreme Leader, Cameron. And as you guys can see, we got the 2K18 gameplay in the background, as that was the first year they removed the affiliations from the park, and instead of giving us affiliations, they gave us the neighborhood. Now, to explain why they did that, we have to go back to 2K17, where they've just given us the same parks 2 years in a row. They just changed the colors. Okay, the 2K16 parks and 2K17 parks were the exact same, okay? They just kind of tweaked the way they looked, okay? They just changed the colors briefly. They made a few small minor changes to things like sunset. I think they added the aquarium. But pretty much this led to the 2K community being very angry, because we never had the same parks 2 years in a row. Park was a fairly new thing, only been introduced in 2K14, and we were kind of thinking, yo, what is even the point of affiliations? I mean, in 2K16 they had a place, they had the affiliation tournaments, and there was a place for affiliations where, you know, the best affiliations got a new park. I believe it was Rivet that got the skyscraper course that was sick. Everyone was like loyal to their affiliation. But come 2K17, they didn't really have any of that. And it was pretty much everyone sat in Sunset for most of the time, and then occasionally would go to another park. But most of the parks were dead other than Sunset. So everyone was kind of looking, yo, is there really any point of affiliations? And 2K actually listened to us and removed it in 2K18, giving us the neighborhood. Now, the neighborhood worked wonders for marketing. However, eventually towards the end of 2K, we decided we didn't really like it anymore, and the fact that only having one park did get very boring. But along with that, there was also a bunch of issues where we had to walk every single time we loaded in. We had to like spend 5 minutes walking to the park. There was a little like train station, but a lot of the time you get glitched in that. And it was just a terrible experience. So come 2K19, they actually fixed all of that and just upgraded our neighborhood, okay? So the whole neighborhood was like a really small, compact area where you'd load directly into the park. And it was a good balance of having the neighborhood not being convenient, but also being gimmicky enough for people to buy the game. Now, because the neighborhood was so far improved, we weren't too mad that they didn't give us affiliations, and it wasn't a huge topic. Obviously, a lot of people still wanted affiliations back. But when they brought in 2K20 the exact same park, the exact same neighborhood, and at that point everyone was very bored of playing in the same parks, okay, because we've been playing in the exact same parks for 2 years. They didn't even bother doing the color correction and slight tweaks. We pretty much got the exact same thing in 2K20 from what we got in 2K19. So at this point, everyone's really realizing that, you know what, the variation that we actually got from affiliations, it wasn't just about, oh, we need like the affiliation, like we're repping this affiliation like we were in 2K16. It was more about we wanted variety, that we can change whenever we want, okay? We don't want to have to wait once a month for the park to change for a couple hours. We want to be able to go to completely different courts whenever we want. So that's kind of the history of Park and the neighborhood and how everything changed, okay? So if we're looking at this from 2K's point of view, they're probably thinking we have no clue what we want, okay? Because it's clear that throughout the years with other things that we as a customer really don't know what we want, okay? We pretty much get bored of things very quickly and we would need something new every single year. However, the gimmick that sells the neighborhood to them was more valuable than having people really enjoy the neighborhood, because at the end of the day they know the park is not going to be something that's going to change people from really buying the game or not, okay? But if they can bring in more people by giving the neighborhood, they're not going to do that.
Until we figure out a good way of not splitting the community, that's a bad business thing to do.
See, this is what Ronnie means by not splitting the community, okay? Because on one hand, you have the casuals that are buying the game for the neighborhood, okay? They think the element of having that free world is kind of cool, okay? Being able to go to everywhere, it's a good idea. In fact, it was suggested in 2K17 that that's actually what they do. So 2K thinks that that is what some of us want, and then a lot of us want the affiliations back. So they're kind of trying to decide which way do we lean, okay? Do we go more towards the casuals or the people that play the game more? Now, for them, it's going to make way more sense for them to go towards the casual side because they're the ones that are on the fence of buying the game or not. The people that want affiliations are the people that are buying the game every single year and playing it a lot. So they're the ones that 2K really doesn't have to appeal to that much, okay? Because if you're thinking about it, if they don't want to buy the game every single year because it's a basketball game regardless, why would they cater to them when they can cater to the audience that might not buy the game, and they'll have double the audience, and that likely means double the profits? And a lot of the time that casual audience can be a lot bigger than the people that are going to be buying the game every single year, so it can be more than double revenue.
So now, how would you like to resolve that? What are your ideas to resolve that? And let's see what they have to say.
Now, I actually like Ronnie's vibe right here. He's clearly frustrated, okay? He's on the marketing team. I don't know what he's actually doing, but he knows that the whole 2K team is frustrated because we're always on the fence, okay? Half of us want one thing, half of us want the other thing. We say we want something, and then we change our mind, okay? So he's going, yo, what is your idea, okay? Let's hear your ideas. The simple idea is do both, okay? I'm not sure how possible this is. I believe in next gen it'd be very, very possible with the capabilities of the new consoles and new hardware and everything. I'm sure you guys have all heard the concept, the world. Guys, if we just had a giant, like a giant's neighborhood, GTA 5 style, obviously you guys would have to separate the servers like you did in 2K18. We have lobby servers and then you have park servers. It can get glitchy. All you guys got to do is make sure it's not glitchy, okay? I know it's easier said than done, but if you guys could really just make the servers like non-glitchy and have smooth transitions from server to server, or even have like a train or something where you can just have a loading screen that's not real, like it's a loading screen but it looks like it's not a loading screen, but you can just have an actual train, subway going from one park to another park, and then you have like a little small city thing with maybe like a 1v1 court in the middle, and then all the shops around it. You've got your Gatorade stuff, but don't force us to load into this place. Have it like 2K17 where we can load into any park. 2K16, 2K17, if you guys know, then before you load into every game, okay, you went to your My Court first, and then when you go click play park, you could select which park you wanted to load us into. You guys could do that, but please don't make us load into a My Court or a My City. I think you guys probably will make it if they did that, if they had like a city thing with all the stores and like not any games, maybe like a 1v1 court or something. I feel like 2K would force everyone to load into it so that they could abuse their sponsorships, but make it super light with pretty much no other players there. Some stores and everything, just so the loading times are super short, and then kick us into like the next parks and everything. I believe loading times should be super short, but it's more on 2K servers how fast they can load us into the game. I believe if you're playing offline games, the loading times are always super short, but when you're playing the online games, you have to connect to their servers properly, so I'm not sure how that works. In that case, you can give us affiliations and we can walk around all three neighborhoods and feel like they're all connected by this little train that's kind of like an actual thing, but it's actually just a loading screen. You could also have maybe little passageways to walk us into them, and then you can try have them seamless transitions like you tried in 2K18. But guys, that's pretty much my solution on how they would do like a world type environment, how they can really fix the parks and affiliations. So yeah, I actually like normally Ronnie is really bad with his words, okay? Normally he asks terrible questions, and but I actually like the way he came off this time, okay? I'm not gonna lie. He seems like he was actually willing to listen. He seems like he's frustrated to the point where he's willing to listen, okay? Which isn't always the best thing. Obviously, you want to listen before that point, but I feel like he's truly frustrated and wants to listen to us, and hopefully everyone in 2K feels that same way. Hopefully everyone working within the company feels that same way, and that should give us a very good basketball game. So you guys know, if you guys enjoyed the video, please smash that like and subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Coming out with a lot of NBA 2K21 news and all that kind of stuff. So you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm out. See ya.